Today's program is brought to you by OTCStockShark.com. For the latest and greatest OTC and Pink Sheets information, sign up for your account at OTCStockShark.com. Thank you for tuning in to TBC Today. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.
In financial news, U.S. stocks slipped as investors reacted tepidly to the last trickle of second quarter earnings and developments on the deals front. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 40 points to 10,365 in early trading, while the S&P 500 slipped 4 points to 1,089, and the NASDAQ Composite shed 10 points to 2,200. Potash Corporation of Saskatchewan remaining in the spotlight after mining giant BHP Billiton decided to bypass Potash's board and go directly to its shareholders with a hostile bid. BHP is hoping an unchanged offer price of $130 a share in cash can do the trick, even after the Potash board described the bid as grossly inadequate. BHP's Sydney-listed shares fell 4.4%, leading the Australian stock market to finish in the red. Potash shares rose 2.7% in the U.S., while BHP's New York-listed shares fell 2%. Investors took a more cautious view of the market after a strong rally to break a 5-session losing streak after Walmart stores beat earning expectations and Potash rejected BHP's takeover bid. In U.S. news, Democrats in Washington are divided and somewhat puzzled over President Obama's fading popularity. They reject, of course, the Republican view that the president is basically a closet socialist whose disdain for free enterprise has alienated voters. But that's about as far as the consensus goes. In conversations over the past few weeks, some of the party's leading strategists said that it all comes down to messaging, or framing the president, who ran such a brilliant campaign, they argue, has utterly failed to communicate his successes. They cited factors like the president's cool demeanor and suggested that he hadn't used the right words or shown the proper empathy. But when you put the same question to John Podesta, the former White House chief of staff who led Mr. Obama's transition team, I heard what sounded like a deeper and more persuasive explanation. You might call it the legislative box theory. Like other Democrats, Mr. Podesta, who now runs the Liberal Center for American Progress and is arguably the most influential Washington Democrat not currently in government, assumes that many of the president's struggles were unavoidable. Stubborn joblessness and anemic growth have thus far resisted intervention and defined the administration. In international news, according to China's state-run news agency, a North Korean plane crashed in northern China, apparently killing the pilot, the only person on board. A South Korean news agency said that the plane appeared to be a Soviet-era military jet that the pilot might have been trying to defect. China's news agency said the plane crashed into a house in a rural area of Liaoning province, which borders North Korea. The Chinese report, which described the crash as an accident, said that no one on the ground was killed or injured. A 54-year-old farmer near where the crash occurred said she saw the plane going down, but that she heard no explosion. She said she and other villagers went to see the wreckage. Many saw a North Korean emblem on the plane's tail.
These are the most powerful songs of all time. Time Life presents Classical Power on 5 CDs for just $29.99. But wait, order in the next 10 minutes with your credit card, and we'll cut the price to just $14.99. That's right, you get 5 CDs for just $14.99. Then preview other beautiful classical CDs, satisfaction guaranteed. This collection is not sold in stores, so call now and get Time Life's Classical Power on 5 CDs for just $14.99.
Call 1-800-731-0511 to order Classical Power for $14.99 plus shipping when you call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card or order online at timelife.com/power.
In entertainment news, Edward Furlong's estranged wife has obtained a temporary restraining order against the Terminator 2 star after he allegedly left some Mel Gibson-esque voicemails. The request, filed by Rachel Neeland, was granted by a Los Angeles Superior Court judge who instructed the 33-year-old actor to stay at least 100 yards away from his one-time missus and their 3-year-old son, Ethan. The order came after Neeland, who's currently embroiled in a bitter divorce with Furlong, accused the actor of threatening her boyfriend. The erstwhile John Connor laid into Neeland, whom he married in April of 2006, threatening to hire people to beat her with chains and bats, and also warned her he would halt all financial support. In court papers, Neeland also described an episode when Furlong allegedly pulled down their son's pants in front of relatives as punishment, and according to the actress, Furlong admitted that he hit Ethan in his testicles to teach him a lesson. Neeland, who goes by the stage name Rachel Bella, says that she has saved the voicemails and plans to play them in court during a hearing scheduled for August 31st. In tech news, music labels and radio broadcasters can't agree on much, including whether radio should be forced to turn over hundreds of millions of dollars a year to pay for the music it plays. But the two sides can agree on this. Congress should mandate that FM radio receivers be built into cell phones, PDAs, and other portable electronics. The Consumer Electronics Association, whose members build the devices that would be affected by such a directive, is an incandescent with rage. CEA President Gary Shapiro said the backroom scheme of the National Association of Broadcasters and the RIAA to have Congress mandate broadcast radios and portable devices, including mobile phones, is the height of absurdity. Such a move is not in our national interest. Rather than adapt to the digital marketplace, NAB and RIAA act like buggy whip industries that refuse to innovate and seek to impose penalties on those that do. But the music and radio industries say it's a consumer-focused proposition, one that would provide many more music choices. In health news, recalls of prescription and over-the-counter drugs are surging, raising questions about the quality of the drug manufacturing in the United States. According to the Gold Sheet, a trade publication on drug quality that analyzes FDA data, the FDA reported more than 1,742 recalls last year, skyrocketing from 426 in 2008. One company, drug repackager Advantage Dose, accounted for more than 1,000 of those recalls. Even excluding Advantage Dose, which has shut down, recalls jumped 50% last year. The managing editor of the Gold Sheet, Bowman Cox, said, "We've seen a trend where the last 4 years are among the top 5 for the most number of drug recalls since we began tallying recalls in 1988. The fast pace of drug recalls seems to be continuing in 2010. Drug recalls totaled 296 from January through June of this year. Mr. Cox said, if we continue at this same rate, we could get 600 or more recalls by the end of the year, but that's still a very high rate of recalls. High-profile recalls of Tylenol and other products by McNeil Consumer Healthcare, a unit of Johnson & Johnson, have drawn attention to quality concerns in manufacturing. The mounting problems over recalls have also drawn attention from lawmakers. 2 bills introduced this year would impose stricter regulations on the industry and give the FDA authority to mandate recalls. The spike in recalls, especially of generic and over-the-counter drugs, is being driven by manufacturing lapses. Some of the biggest culprits are the quality of raw materials, faulty labeling, packaging, and contamination. In green news, the food versus fuel debate already has many people worried that we can't feed the world and power our cars. But some folks are claiming that we can power our cars, feed the world, and have a drink in the process. We have previously reported on Scottish efforts to create biofuels from byproducts of distilling, and now it looks like such efforts are paying off. The resulting fuel may even offer significant performance improvements over regular ethanol. According to The Guardian, scientists at Edinburgh and Napier University have been using byproducts known as pot ale and draft from the Glenkenshie whiskey distillery in East Lothian to produce a viable biofuel. And as if that wasn't cause enough for celebration, the researchers claim that the fuel could be available at the pump within a few years and can be used in any regular gasoline engine and even provide significant power output advantages compared to regular ethanol. The new method, developed by the team, produces butanol, which gives 30% more power output than traditional biofuel ethanol. It is based on a 100-year-old process that was originally developed to produce butanol and acetone by fermenting sugar. The team has adapted this to use whiskey byproducts as a starting point and has filed for a patent to cover the new method. It plans to create a spin-out company to commercialize the invention. If these scientists pull it off, I would imagine that there will be plenty of tree-hugging motorists lining up to buy them a drink.
Thank you for tuning in to TBC Today. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.
The makeup in today's program is provided by MAC Cosmetics.